Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is entitled A Time to Harvest. It was written by Brian Sammons, Charles P. Zaglanis, Glenn Owen Barras, and Mike Mason, and it's available on the Chaos Stream website. Jeff Wilkins is our game master, and this is Chapter 3, Episode 6. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Jeff?
Thanks, Tom. So a little recap, I guess. The investigators are now in a small town / city in Latuque, Canada. It was kind of a last minute thing. The Abelard, the head of Federated Oil and Chemical, got a hot lead that there might be some possible Migo activity. And it was a very last minute, rush around, grab your stuff, get on a plane, go investigate. So you were kind of thrown into this rather quickly. Not a lot of time to prepare. You met with one of Abelard's contacts there, who was a lawyer. He gave you some background information about who murders or killings. And you were given contact of the detective, which you went and spoke to. He was somewhat helpful, a little bit confused why you guys were actually there. But when the offer was, we're here to help, then he's like, fine, I could use the help. So he cooperated with you. Didn't give you a whole lot of information other than the gruesome deaths where they had their heads removed, the tops of their heads, and their brains are removed. They unfortunately were rather hastily cremated, and he showed you a map, which I think I can show you this now, just to give you a quick idea. This was a little map of the town that he showed you. The number one is the train tracks. That's where the train station. That's where you arrived at. Right down a couple blocks was the police station, number 2, and then the 2 locations that he marked on the map were where the bodies were found. The first one was just only a few blocks away.
Okay.
And then the second one was right at this little angle point here. This line delineates the foot of the mountains. So right on the edge of town, pretty much. And really, you guys have the run of the town at this point.
So both the murders were at the foot of the mountain.
I'm sorry?
Both the bodies were found at the foot of the mountain, but when we trailed the body, it appeared that they'd been dragged.
Yes, and there's a little bit of confusion, so let me just, if I wasn't clear, you had found drag marks, like the body was being dragged from the shoulder, so you found the heel drag marks. And I just wanted to clarify, the direction that he was dragged was from the street up into the woods, not from the woods or the mountains down to the street.
So when we got to the point where the trail ended, the dog was going to follow, but it would have followed back into the town.
Correct.
In the opposite direction.
Yep.
We were at the end. So
now the dog didn't really take us any further other than kind of down the trail, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think we joked a little bit about Rex is still newly acquired to Jasper and not sure he understands what he was supposed to be doing. He eventually got sidetracked when he saw a butterfly.
But he did find 8 tennis balls.
I say to Jasper, it would have been better if he could have taken us right to the door, but you need to do some more training.
Well, it's a learning curve, and I'm right at the bottom of it.
I think there was a couple of clues we had last time. I think it was the police chief told us that there was a place that a lot of drifters hung out round about. Was that around the railway? or am I getting that wrong?
No, you're pretty much getting that right. There was along the railway. That's where they tend to drift in and out of town.
Yeah.
Like the typical hobo. They jump the train.
Yeah.
So you might find someone down at the rail yard you could talk to. He also just gave you a loose description that there's a section along the east side of town that they tend to like hang out on the corner looking for jobs.
Right. Okay.
So you could probably just drive around or walk around, I guess. And you would probably just meet somebody in passing.
And we knew that there was a kind of, the only welfare kind of thing in town was one of the churches that, provided something, for them.
Yep.
So there's kind of 3 areas that if they were visitors to the town, which it seems they were, that we could have a look at. Was there anything else, guys, that you were thinking of?
Well, we've looked at. Are we just going to try to wander up higher into the mountain?
We could do. I'd like to check out the railroad jungle. That's what they call it.
I mean, probably
King of the North Pole. I know that.
when we went up to the spot where the body was found, I don't think it really went any further, did it? Because certainly the dog didn't take us any further. My initial thought was there was maybe caves up in the mountain and maybe there were, some weird creatures hanging out in the caves, but it didn't seem that, unless they flew, of course.
Right, they could have dropped
it. It's kind of strange that the dog only picked up the scent from the body. If you think about it, I mean, because if there were people, whether they'd gone up into the mountains or whether they'd just gone along a mountain path back to the town or whatever, they would have left a scent that would have been fresher than that body. But there's no reaction to that.
Here's another thing, obviously we've discovered these monsters in our other travels. I'm not saying it is possible, but because we saw some creatures back at Abelard's place where they were more human than the kind of bug type flying creatures.
Right.
But if somebody's taken the guy from the town, it would suggest maybe more human than monstrous, unless it's, of course, it could be in the middle of the night and they're drifters. So that's maybe not true.
Well, maybe they might be trying to make themselves into some kind of form that's better suited to living here, to adapt themselves. Maybe they're trying to adapt us to be them. We don't know where they started with these things, do we? But I think we should start by going down to the hobo jungle.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because both victims were drifters, right? Or they were both recently unemployed. So yeah.
Let's do that. So
we've got a reasonable assumption. Just to clarify, the one was recently unemployed about a month ago. The other one, they still don't know who he is. So,
okay. So he was probably a vagrant or a drifter.
Right. Yeah. His clothing led them to believe that he was.
And he wasn't local because they didn't know him. So.
Well, I don't know. I mean, thinking about it now, I think we'd be better off going to the mission first and then the jungle, because someone at the mission, there's probably just some sort of local citizen who's more likely to talk to us. Whereas if we go walking in there unannounced, we're just outsiders walking into their place, and they're already going to feel pretty put upon by being homeless and jobless. So we might have a better chance of getting information if we go to the mission.
That's a good idea, Jasper. Let's do that. We'll go there first, and then we can head down the railway or over east.
Yeah, we can get better directions, or might at the very least, someone at the mission could tell us who to ask for at the other place, which could be helpful.
Okay.
Let's hope so, anyway.
You lead, I
Okay.
follow.
Okay, let's go to the mission.
Just trying to think.
We're going to jog there with the Dick Barton music playing.
Do you know where the mission is? That's a question.
I'll carry the dog.
We could ask.
Ask the dog.
Yeah.
We could just ask around town, or go to a diner or something like that, and
Yeah.
ask where's the local.
Rex, where's the mission? I don't know.
Come on, boy. Find failure for us.
Where's the mission? Where's the mission, boy? I love you. So happy watching what's asking videos.
The mission is down inside the well.
Let me just point out too, you did have the other site that you could investigate also, where the other body was found, or you just want to still go right to the mission?
Which is closer?
Okay, so let's just say
I forgot we hadn't done the other site actually.
sorry, I'm just double checking the map. Yeah,
Did we do the site on at the bottom of the map? Is that the one we did first?
that's the one you did first. That's the one that's only a few blocks away from the police station.
Okay, so we could conceivably work up along the foot of the mountain, do the other one, and then go looking for the mission, because we'd be having to go in that direction anyway, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
It would make sense checking where the body was, I suppose, now.
Yeah, and that's logical too, because you would be basically walking along the east side of town to get there anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about transportation. That's not really critical.
It's a small enough town.
Small town. That's fine.
We're young and healthy.
6 hours.
If we get tired, Tug can carry us.
Yeah.
Right.
I can do cartwheels.
Oh, by the way, so just so everybody's clear, George wasn't able to join us, so we're just playing on this without him. We're going to treat him as like an NPC, so he's in the background tagging along. Okay, yes. So you're headed towards the other mark that the detective put on the map. Again, he gave you just sort of vague instructions with like, you'll kind of see it when you get there. You'll recognize where, because you have to think about too, maybe this plays into the fact of maybe why Rex was having a hard time. The police have already checked these locations out, so people have come and gone. The police have trampled down the grass and the location, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, it's roughly 3/4 of the way up into the town further. You eventually get to the map location, and it's exactly how I described. It's it's very similar to where you just came from, which was Nathan's location. You're now looking at Anthony Corbett. So it's again the grass kind of fades away. There's a trail leading up into the woods. Looks like it could just be a nature trail. It's an established trail at this point. Probably the locals just come and go and hikes and things like that. Anything you guys want to do first, or should I just?
Well, what are we seeing all around us? Is there like a factory nearby, or?
The factories are more to the north and to the west. The smell, I think I did describe the heavy smell of sulfurs in the air. It's a common ingredient for the paper mill. It's a nice suburb town, Maybe it's seen a little bit better days, but you are on the edge of town, so maybe that's another, especially if that's where the downtrodden are sort of gathering along that area. So, I mean, you know, just keep your wits about you. I think you'd be fine. Street smart.
Smells like my hamster cage I had when I was a kid.
Diabolical hamsters.
Oh, it's that wood chip smell.
So, you say there's once again a trail.
Yep, there's a trail that heads up.
Well, I think that we immediately look for, once again, as if somebody was dragged.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'm going to ask for spot hiddens.
18.
58. I just scraped through.
Yeah, just a pass.
18, is that an extreme or is that just a hard?
That is just a hard.
Okay.
Actually, it's for me. It's not even a hard. It's just a regular.
Okay.
I only have 27 in
Oh, I see. Okay.
spot hidden. I'm too busy exercising.
Okay, so there's not any telltale drag marks like the other site. The grass has been trampled. You can see that, again, probably from the police coming and going and investigating the scene. The path heads up into the woods, and after only about maybe 20 yards or so, there's like a small clearing that opens, and it's like kind of like a teenage hangout. You know, there's like a fire pit there. I'm assuming they had beer cans back then. So, you know, probably beer cans or beer bottles strewn about. You know, local party spot, maybe teens hang out there. So there's no real hard clues like the other one with the heel drag tracks, but it's still a decent roll, and all three of you passed. I will say this: one of the tracks, there's like a section where the ground kind of dips a little bit, so it's a little bit moist in that area. And there's a couple tracks that look a little bit strange to you that, you know, not shoe prints, not human. Maybe just a wild animal. Do any of you have, what would that be, natural world, I think? Or even tracking?
I don't. I've got 10 points in either.
No, I've only got either of those at base.
37. No.
And while Rex has a very high tracking skill, he couldn't really tell us.
Right.
It obviously looks like strange marks, but it's definitely not human.
Correct. Right.
Would survival outdoors come into that as well? Because that's kind of my best score in any of them. Or not really.
I could understand that. That's reasonable. I'll say you'd need a hard or better.
Okay. I failed anyway. Yeah, it's just strange marks.
Yep. So possibly nothing to it, but
Could be a bear.
Catches your eye.
Does the trail continue up the mountain?
Yeah, I'll say maybe the detective told you that it's basically just a nature trail. So it kind of goes up into the woods and loops around and loops back onto itself at some point and then just comes back to where it started. So it's not like the Appalachian Trail where it just continues for miles and miles.
Right.
And the way we travel just now, is it like a direct trail from that site to this site? So it would be, you know, if somebody or something was doing these murders, then could it have done, you know, were these murders done in different times?
Approximately 2 days apart.
Oh, so it was. I was thinking.
How many days since the last murder?
It's vague, so I think I said last episode it was roughly 4 days since the last one.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. The last murder was 2 days ago. The one before that was 4 days ago.
So 2 days, 2 days. Now it's been 2 days.
Yeah.
We'll see if we hear about another murder.
Yeah, we'll see if we survive.
Danny, what was that question again? I'm not sure. I think you were onto something, but I lost track. You're saying something about...
It struck me that the way that we've travelled between the two murder points, it could have very well been used by the murderer or murderers, depending on what it was or who it was. So it's almost like this could be a route round the back of the town, or, this trail itself could be the way that the murderer's travelling.
Mm.
Kind of like out of sight of the town.
In a small town like this, though, on the outskirts, that's pretty much anyone could travel this, secretly. You could find trees and
that's what I'm thinking. It's
buildings and grassy fields that you could.
It's kind of out the way.
It's possible, definitely. Or like you say, they could be flying if these things have wings.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering, Tug, if your thoughts on, should we follow the trail a little bit further out? I mean, is it a really basic loop, Jeff, in terms of the trail, or does it look like the trail would take us somewhere interesting, or is it literally just a kind of circular?
It's basically just a circular nature trail.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's just one of those nature trails.
Yeah. That's what it's trying to work out. So let's carry on then.
Yeah, let's head to the mission. You guys, that seems intriguing. We're going to find out how this town is involved.
If need be, we can just ask directions on the way.
Yeah.
So let's do this then. So on your way, so basically, kind of a busted little adventure here, in that there wasn't a whole lot to see or hear or do at this point. But at least you've been here. At least you know the area. You get to take in the location.
Mm-hmm.
So on your way back down, you make it down to the street again. Could you each do, let's say, a luck roll, see if you see anybody?
Ooh. Yes, I passed.
Yes.
By better than half. So it's hard luck.
Okay. We'll say there's two gentlemen standing on the corner that, they've got like a cardboard sign out that says, "We'll work for food."
Maybe get a few coins out for them and give them a little donation and ask who the mission is then.
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on this, but this was part of the reason why I was asking you how you were dressed. Can you give me a little bit more detail on that? I basically am looking for Abelard set you up with like fancy stuff, right? I mean, he custom tailored suits. Is that what you're wearing, or did you kind of?
I think didn't we say we were dressed more sort of outdoorsy? I think.
Yeah, more casual.
Yeah, we kind of anticipated.
I might, in fact,
out and about.
Might be wearing the clothes that I was in when I was, first there. Except maybe for a colder jacket.
Yeah,
I'm wearing a flannel jacket and a hat with ear flaps.
Okay. All right, perfect. That's good. Yeah, so they're just sitting on the corner. They get your eye, as you're approaching. They just look up like, do you need us to work on anything for you?
Hi, fellas. I'm afraid we're not looking for anyone to do any work, but we are looking for the church mission. Do you think you could maybe point us in that direction?
His tone kind of switched on a dime when you said we're not interested in hiring you, right? So now it's almost like, what use are you to me?
Hey, I mean, we don't mind making a small donation if you could help us out.
I'm jingling coins in my pocket as I'm kind of
And
preparing.
the same way the switch got turned off, the switch now got turned back on again. Yes, yeah, sure. And he kind of like takes his hat off and tips it off. Clink. Well, as a matter of fact, if you just go about 2 blocks down, or up actually to the north, you'll find the mission right there. And he kind of looks you up and down, like you guys don't look as down and out as what he looks. So he's kind of, why do you ask? Why are you looking?
Oh, we're from the college. We're students. We've come to volunteer to help people.
But we heard something kind of scary that a couple of guys had got killed. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yes, I did.
We were a bit nervous because we heard there might be a crazy person on the loose.
Yeah, strange world out there, isn't it? You never know.
Is it true someone said they had their heads cut off or their brains cut out or something?
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Jeez.
Did you guys know the guys that have gone missing? Or do you know anything about them?
The one guy turns to the other guy and he starts speaking in French. And there's a little bit of conversation back and forth. And he says, no, we didn't really know either one of them.
Are they the only two you've heard of?
Yeah. I mean, just within the last week too. So this is a new thing.
That is scary. And I will give them some changes. So here, get yourself a hot meal, and you keep an eye out. Like, don't take any chances. Like, I mean, I guess you've all got you've got somewhere to stay down by the railroad, I guess.
Yeah, we've got our spots. The mission, it's nice and everything, but to be honest with you, there's a little bit of a payoff for a trade that you gotta sit there and listen to the preacher talk for hours and hours.
A lot of people do that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not slamming the guy. I mean, it's just sometimes all you want is just a hot meal and a warm bed. But I mean, he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart, so I can't really fault him. It's just.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good luck
Well,
finding some work.
And listen, if you hear anything, we're happy to just, we've not got a lot, but we can give you a little bit of change. If you hear anything, if you see us about, we might go up to the mission or we'll be about town.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. And he seems genuinely, I guess there's always that level of defensiveness, I guess.
Yeah.
They're probably picked on a lot. People taunt them and stuff. So when you came up and you offered the money, his whole demeanor kind of like softened a bit. So, yeah, he's very thankful.
Cool.
You take care, fellas.
Will do. Be careful. He says in a non-menacing way.
I say, well, here's a grenade if you need to defend yourself.
Huh. Give a man a grenade. He can defend himself once. Teach him a magic spell.
Yes, wise.
Here's a grenade. Go and do some fishing. Saddam Hussein style. Give a man a grenade and you'll teach him how to fish.
or something. I don't know.
For at least a week.
Yeah.
So let's walk down to the mission.
Yeah. Like he said, it's only about 2 blocks down. The one thing I'll say, just to as your way, about 1 block before you get there, there's a small shop on the right-hand side. It's a hardware store, but being that this is kind of a small town and rural, it's also got a little cafe set up in the corner. So if you need to meet or stop or anything like that, you can just keep that in the back of your mind.
Cafe La Touque?
Actually, it's Justine's Hardware.
Justine's Hardware Coffee Shop.
Store and cafe. And then about a block further down, you see the mission. It's got a nice wooden sign out front with the big letters that say YMCFC. And here it is. Anyone care to guess?
YMCFC.
I'll just tell you. Young Men's Christian Fellowship Center.
Young Men's Christian Fellowship Center.
Oh, I bet it's fun to stay there.
Yeah, it is. You can get a good meal.
And as you approach, you see 3 guys.
Oh, look, it's there are 3 men there. They appear to be a construction worker, a Native American, and a gentleman wearing a large amount of leather. I think he might be a motorcycle policeman.
We're not singing a song, guys, okay?
I did not get where that was going, but now I do. They're crouched at the foot of the steps, and not really paying attention to you guys walking up to them.
Well, I'll tip my brim.
Morning.
You kind of take them a little bit off guard. They turn around and they look embarrassed, maybe, like you just caught them doing something. Can you do a spot hidden?
Oh,
Nope.
18.
Yes, pass.
So that's I got just squeezed by on an extreme, I think.
Okay, great. So in the shuffle, there's
the hard. Sorry.
you see some kind of fast hand movements, and you realize that it looks like they've had a small game of craps gone. So they quickly gather up some money that was on the ground, and they look embarrassed, like you just caught them doing something they shouldn't have been doing, especially in front of the mission.
Well, I'll just go.
Eye roll.
In a light-hearted way. Put them at their ease.
Yeah.
So do we just walk past them and walk in?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
But before we actually walk right in, I'm gonna sort of lean over and say, what are we looking for here? To you guys.
Well, I guess the minister.
Just to ask him some questions?
Yeah, maybe if these guys showed up at the mission for food or help.
If not the minister, actually, whoever serves the food would
Yeah.
probably be our best bet, because
Get the
that's
gossip.
the person they're probably going to talk to.
Hmm.
So that whoever's serving in the kitchen.
I mean, we can ask these guys as well, you know. We can speak to these guys if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys.
Hey, fellas, who's winning?
Yeah, you get a hearty, hey, brother, how are you? Go on inside. You looking for a place to stay?
Well,
Yep,
no, we're
just
just looking to
the
talk
passes.
right now. Is this a nice place to stay?
Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's clean. That's half the battle right there.
We're new in town, and we heard some bad stories, you know, about some guys, a couple of people had been killed. So we're a bit nervous, you know. Is that story true?
I think it is. That's what I've heard also. Yeah, I mean,
Did you know these guys?
I knew the one guy. I mean, I didn't know him, but I know him enough that I've seen him coming and going from here. We didn't really hang out so much to say, but you know, I've seen him come and go. I know he spent a few nights here a couple times. I think he was a ex mill worker who got laid off.
Mm.
Is that Nathan Roche?
The other one, Anthony.
Anthony Corbett. Yeah, that's terrible. Terrible tragedy.
Yeah.
Frightening. There've been two killings in less than a week, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that is worrying.
And do you guys work in the town? Did you work in the town and lost the job as well?
He hesitates. I'm actually from further down south. It's just this town has a reputation where the mill workers, it's a high turnaround job, so they're always looking for new workers. So it's a very good chance. That's why we tend to congregate here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is the pastor inside?
He should be. I don't remember seeing him leave.
Okay, well, good luck in getting some work, guys, and we'll go in and see.
Father Dubois.
Father Dubois.
I believe I'm saying that correctly. Dubois.
Yeah, Dubois.
Dubois.
There was this French soldier that we knew that was named Dubois. All right. So let's walk inside. What's the place look like?
Dubois, it means of the wood.
Of the wood?
Of the wood.
Of the wood.
Or of the worm? Which one are you saying?
Woods.
That's it. Of the wood. That's my attempt at doing a southern accent. I'll do a proper southern accent. Of the wood.
Oh, the world.
Possums and yam, innit? Oh, I love me old possums and yam.
So when we go inside, what's
Down
the
in
place?
Dixie, yeah.
I'm just trying to, let's just show you the map.
Sorry, I've just pulled my headphones out then.
You went almighty bush there.
I did. I went over south of the river.
I mean, clearly you haven't been to the second floor, so.
Okay.
So you're walking in the front steps here. You're arriving in the hallway. There's a main room directly in front of you. Office to the left, kitchen in the back, water closet, blah blah blah.
So is this like this isn't a kind of feeding time just now where guys are milling about getting food, is it?
Let's do a joint luck roll. So since there's 3 of you here currently, if 2 of you pass, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, easy.
Yep, easy.
Oh, I've got 7.
Wow.
We all passed.
Good.
Did
So
you roll
yeah,
for the dog?
you hear the loud booming voice coming from the main room just in front of you. It looks like as you're just in the hallway now looking in through the open door, you see a whole bunch of chairs lined up and they're all facing one direction. The loud booming voice is preaching about come on, where is it? Job.
The heavenly lobster.
I was trying to find the actual biblical verse. Job 7-17. Loud boom. What is mankind that you make so much of them, that you give them so much attention?
Well, shall we go through and hang out with all the boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the preacher for a while. Maybe we can all get saved.
Mm-hmm. And then have dinner.
Yes. And put our pride on the shelf.
Where's Rex?
Rex is sitting obediently outside.
Okay.
I've said to the fellas out there who were playing crap, said, don't pet him. He'll have your hand off. Watch him. Does your dog bite? It's not really my dog. I stole him from this. So,
Stolen from a dead body.
yep. I killed a fellow and stole his dog. Yeah, what are you?
Oh, yeah, all the hobos go, yeah.
The hobos, they've all got dogs. Well, they're like modern hobos anyway. They're all pit bulls.
Even better, you killed
They've
a
all
guy.
got pit bulls with bandanas.
You killed a guy with a sock. That's even better.
Yeah. Just to see what it felt like. And it felt good. No, it didn't. I had a psychotic episode.
Large oak paneled room. The doors on either side leading to Dubois' office, stairway. Yeah, so you guys are just walking in and taking a seat in the back, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. So he obviously sees you guys come in, and he doesn't really react one way or another, other than he makes eye contact and he's checking you out and just that.
I'll take my hat off and clasp it to my chest in the time-honored fashion.
And he just gives you a quick acknowledgement when he hits a little breaking point, and he says, "Gentlemen, welcome. Sit down. Have a seat." Well, and he just continues on and continues with the preaching. How are we going to do this? I feel like a dice roll.
I think you should roll oration or something like that. See how good it is.
Who's feeling lucky?
Yeah, I've been lucky all night.
I think you should have prepared a speech for us to listen to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to do it because I just rolled a 7, so I know that whatever I roll next is going to be awful.
I just rolled an 11.
I was going to ask you to roll a d6, actually.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
For how many hours this goes on?
Exactly.
Oh no. I don't know if I. Do you want to roll this, Tug?
Can we get him some water?
3, I heard.
I rolled a 1.
We defer to Tug.
After about 2 hours of sitting there, you wish you rolled a 1.
Oh, well, we're not that polite. After an hour, I'm getting to get up and if we can come back later when he's done.
Hey, fellas, I've got to go and check on my dog.
Okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, we'll sit outside on the porch with the other guys and be like, "How long does he do this?"
Oh, he could preach all day if he was up to it. I'll say it's just now. We'll say you guys got there early in the morning. I'll say it's mid-afternoon.
Hey, any of you fellas want one of these newfangled cigarettes? They're good for you, you know. They make your lungs hard and rubbery.
Yeah, sure. Perfect.
Look, they're really good ones. They've got these special asbestos filters.
I think, when the guys are going out, I was kind of thinking about this. I think Danny decides to try and wait it out to maybe gain a wee bit of favour, to the sermon, and
I left because I was afraid I was going to start snoring.
Yeah,
I genuinely was worried my dog would wander off. I mean, you can't leave your dog outside for an hour.
probably my backside is agony because the chairs are wood, wooden chairs or something like that, or pews. So, but I kind of, unless he goes any longer than that, I kind of sit it out and in the hope that maybe he'll be more communicative.
Okay. Yep. So, well, I'm going to stick with that 3-hour mark.
Okay.
So, you willing to sit there for that length there, Danny?
No, I go out for a toilet break for half an hour because my backside's agony.
Okay.
And I'm kind of listening outside with the guys to hear if it sounds like some kind of wind up, to kind of winding up the
Oh, there's
sermon
been
and that.
about 5 of those already. So,
Yeah, and in closing, an hour later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody heard the song by Lyle Lovett? Trying to remember how it goes. Something about the beans are done. Let's go, preacher. It's time. It's basically like a Southern preacher who's just gone on and on with it. And the song's about them like, come on, preacher, wrap it up. We all want to eat the beans and have our lunch.
Did Johnny Cash sang a song like that?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It might be the same one. Anyway, yes. So at some point, so Danny, are you going to go back in while he's preaching, or are you just going to still continue to wait outside?
I think I'll try and go in and get, the last 10, 15 minutes of whatever it is he's saying.
Okay. All right. So, Danny, you make your way back in as he seems to be wrapping things up. Eventually, it comes to an end and close. The guys are in the room. There's only about maybe 10 or 12 other guys sitting in the chairs. So not a huge crowd here. But everybody kind of gets up and they turn to you. You're the new guy, so there's a lot of handshakes and welcomings and how are you doing? And they're checking you out as to your clothes again. That's what you look a little bit more well off than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a certain amount of but eventually the preacher comes up to you and he extends his hand out for a handshake. He says, welcome, brother. What brings you here?
Oh, hello, Reverend. We're new in town, and I think should we tell him?
Well, I don't know why not. We're investigating.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, what I want to, I'm going to say that we're helping the police out probably with these missing people, but I don't want to do that necessarily near shot of the other guys. So I might say, could I have a word with you, a little bit quieter, over there or something like that.
Can you go into your office?
Yeah. Sure. So Tug and Jasper, you join in?
Yeah, we heard more talk.
Yes, we were kind of hanging around on the periphery of the door, I think.
Okay. Yep.
At that point.
I think from the guys' point of view that are there for the food and that, it's kind of more like I'm wanting a word with the pastor, and we maybe go back out down the corridor and I shout the guys in.
Yep. Okay.
And go in and. Yeah.
He says, yeah, sure. I mean, by all means, let's step into my office here and a little bit more peace and quiet in here.
I really enjoyed your message there. It really spoke to me. And so we're new in town, and we're students, and we've been doing some research recently, and we're actually helping out with the missing people situation, where the murders that have taken place recently.
Horrible.
Yeah, we heard it was really disgusting.
Were the two men had they come here for help after their difficulties?
The one gentleman I remember seeing,
Mr. Corbett.
Yeah, I think that was his name. You'll have to forgive me. I get a lot of guys coming and going, so there's a certain amount of it's hard for me to keep track. I do my best. I try to remember first names, but you have to forgive me. Sometimes they all blend together.
A lot, yeah. But the other fellow, He wasn't here frequently?
I don't recall seeing him. But that's not to say he wasn't here. I just don't recall.
Tell me, Reverend, is this a dangerous town by nature? I mean, is this somewhere where things like this happen?
No, and he kind of. I mean, we're in a beautiful town here in Canada. I mean, things like this don't happen here. I don't understand it.
So you don't hear about other missing people, or I mean, obviously you have people here that come and go.
Right. I mean, there's always the rumors where somebody went missing, but it's hard to say. You know, they could have just packed up and moved along and went to look for more work somewhere else and just didn't tell anybody. And so, I mean, that's a really difficult question to answer.
Well, because of the nature of the two guys that were murdered, we've come in because we just suspect at this point that it might have some connections to a number of cases that are going on in the United States. And I guess I lost my train of thought. We're concerned because both men were down on their luck. And we were wondering if some sort of, somebody new came into town. Is there anybody in town, in your opinion, that we should keep a wary eye on?
I mean,
well, what we say in here isn't going to go outside this room, but.
Well, I guess what I'm struggling with is, I mean, the same as what you guys just came in off the street and came in. I run this mission to help the poor, and there are people coming and going here all the time. So it's hard when you ask if there's anybody new showing up. Yeah, I mean, we probably had 4 new guys just in the last week.
Well, I don't think this would be somebody here. I mean, you obviously live in this town.
Mm-hmm.
Is there somebody new in town? Not necessarily poor.
He's struggling. He's like, I can't think of anybody.
Can you think of anybody, and like I say, anybody who's in town? How long have you been here? You've been here for years?
Yeah, mm-hmm. I've been here about 15 years.
Any people in town that you think are a little bit shady that we should keep our eye on?
Wow. I mean, there's shady, and then there's what just happened. I mean, I can't think of anybody who would do something like that.
No, but where there's smoke, there's fire.
Reverend, is there ever any stories of anything unnatural happening around this area? As in devilish?
Ghosts or creatures living up in the mountains. Folk tales.
We found it in our other experiences that there's been certain things that have happened, and these kind of legends and things seem to linger where some of these really heinous crimes take place.
Do you have psychology, Danny?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do a psychology roll.
And by a little bit, I mean a little bit. Oh, that's unbelievable. 0-1.
Oh, wow.
I've only got 15 in psychology, so.
Wow, nice.
Liar appears on his forehead.
Well, I'll just say then to you, it's obvious that you're losing him.
Losing him?
I mean,
like
his interest is like, I don't know a whole lot, and now you're bringing up talk of folklore and devils and demons, and it's like it looks like he's not interested in talking about any of that.
So did I just get the feeling that he's all about preaching and feeding the poor, and that's it? That's like his level of interest.
Yeah, he's starting to like shut down and cut you off a little bit.
Tell me, Reverend, do your parishioners help out here with serving the food, or is it the men themselves, the unfortunate fellows who do they volunteer to chip in and feed each other?
Yes, it's mostly me who runs the mission. Now we get donations and such from the town. People bring us clothes and blankets and things like that. But as far as like the day-to-day operations, it's basically me, and then I ask for volunteers to help, and guys chip in where and when they can.
Well, it's very creditable work you're doing here. I must talk to some people when I get back to college, and we'll see if we can have some sort of charity drive for you.
That would be much appreciated.
And perhaps we could send you a check or some such.
That would be fantastic.
Well, I mean, we'd love to support anything that's helping other people is a creditable thing.
Well, it's the whole reason why we're here. Is we're trying to prevent crimes of this horrible nature.
And did you say you're from America? Is that where this accent is?
Yes.
Sure.
Massachusetts.
Mass.
Yes, near Boston.
Boston.
The
So
Commonwealth.
Which is why I have that curious English sounding accent of the Boston Brahmin.
how in the world did you get from America to here? How did you hear about it?
Oh, sheriff tells somebody, and it comes across the ear of.
It's a long story.
Yeah.
We heard it on the grapevine.
Wow. I mean, he's like, news travels fast in a small town, but he's a bit blown away and shocked that like.
Oh well, you've got to remember, Reverend, that this is the age of radios and wireless telegraphy.
Everything is so modern now.
Oh, it is. I mean, a piece of news can be halfway around the world before you know it.
Just so you know, he's roughly around 50 years old. So, older gentleman, but clearly not.
I'm almost 50 years old.
Yeah.
He's quite a young man.
Sometimes I feel like I'm 70.
I look like I'm 70.
And do you see your volunteers, your good people that help you out? Are they the same? Are they your parishioners, or do you get new people coming in to help out?
I mean, yeah, it's a constant flow. I mean, some guys have been here longer than others. I try not to, if I get the sense that they're overstaying their welcome, I'll try to do what I can and maybe push them along. Sometimes they need a push, but generally it's new people coming and going.
Well, we were thinking that we might take a walk up to their encampment, their jungle, and see if there's anything we could do. We thought we might even be able to get some people to possibly even arrange some tarpaulins or supplies that could make their shelters a bit more weather worthy. If we were to go up there, is there someone we should perhaps ask for, who might be the best person to talk to? Someone who's friendly, really.
Yeah, I don't want to. He reaches down into his bottom desk drawer, and he pulls out a handful of flyers. And he says, if you're headed out that way, if you wouldn't mind just handing some of these out. And it's basically just like a little advertisement for his mission and, telling people to come.
We'd be happy to do that. We'd be more than happy to do that, of course, yes. Yeah.
You have the right idea, meaning you want to be careful down there. Some of these guys, you can't, they're not quite right. So, I'm just keep your wits about you.
Well, thanks for the advice. Maybe we should just give a little donation and head on, guys. What do you think? Anything else?
I think so.
I think those leaflets are going to become quite useful, because if we're wandering around that encampment handing out leaflets, then basically we're just from the church, aren't we? So.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to have to nip out for a second because someone is intimating that she wants to go to the toilet, and if I don't take her out now, she's going to start howling through the game. So if you just carry on without me for a second, I'll be back very shortly.
She not being a human, but a dog.
Right. Let's make that clear. Not his girlfriend.
So I asked the Reverend where the donation box is, and put a small donation and take the leaflets, and off we go.
Sure.
Not particularly, not overly helpful, Tug, but
Do you get the impression that he might be holding something back, or?
I don't know. I just felt like he wasn't really that interested in helping us.
Maybe. Seems like he should have known, like Old Man Johnson's a crazy old man, and Mr. Hemsworth is a slave driver, and
and Jimmy is the guy to talk to. He knows everything that's going on around, But
then again, maybe he's just very focused on his own work.
That's what I thought.
Outside that, so where to next?
Well, I think we head down the railway, or is it the east side? What's closest, Jeff? Is it the east side? Is that closest to where we are now, or the railway?
Yeah. So let me.
Whatever's closest, I think.
So you are currently on the east side of town, northeast, basically. The rail yards are in the northwest, so across town, but we're only talking about 6 or 7 blocks.
Okay.
Yeah, we just
What
walked
time
over.
is it now? Probably later afternoon.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
All right.
I can't believe I listened to so much of his sermon just for him, really. Did you notice, Tug, how he just totally switched off when I asked him about legends and,
Yeah, well, he's probably a bit superstitious in that stuff, but he sure liked Job.
Yeah, he liked him for about 3 hours worth.
Yeah, you read the whole book in that time. A couple times through. Job's the one that suffered, and God was sort of showing off to the devil, wasn't he? That, hey, Job's my guy. He's not going to betray me or give up.
Mm-hmm.
Man of great fortitude.
Well, if you've got 2 hours, I can tell you all about it, because I just heard about it.
Yeah. You heard about Job and his brother and his 2 sisters and their children, and of course they all got crushed in the house. But all right, where has Jasper and that dog gone? That's not even his dog. Now he's come back with a completely different dog.
He seems to attract dogs.
He's brought 2 of them.
He's got 2 dogs now. I don't mind him bringing the dogs because they're good at tracking a scent,
Yeah. Well, and they intimidate people if they try to attack us.
I think that the one thing though, when the Reverend told us just to watch ourselves, so maybe we'll just kind of keep a sharp eye out, especially maybe when we go down the railway. We don't want to get lynched, you know.
Well, I think even more so, we don't want to encounter people that have been taken over by the Migo and spill the beans that to them while we're here. Hopefully, I don't think that preacher is, because I don't think the Migo would spend their time talking that much.
I agree.
He didn't sound buzzy at all like that one on the tape. Well,
okay.
So we're kind of looking for the hangouts really on. Oh no, the railway's on the northwest, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. You know what? Why don't you guys do a spot hidden?
Okay. 99.
93.
Oh.
Do you want to roll for... Oh, here he comes. Oh, no, he doesn't. Why don't you roll for Jasper? Tug.
You want me to roll for Jasper?
Here
he is. Here he is.
Wait. And Jasper rolls. No. We're rolling for what? Spot hidden?
Spot hidden, Mick.
Roll a dice, roll.
Sorry, Rex ran off. I failed.
We all failed.
He's busy with his dogs.
It happens. So, yep, you guys are making your way to the train yard. Again, so just to, you're basically just canvassing the area, right? Just looking to talk to people, get information, right?
And we've got the
if anyone looks down on their luck, we'll hand them a flyer.
Okay.
Could potentially be insulting.
What, so you're right. To describe the rail yard, the term jungle, I think, does fit. It can feel like a maze, right? There's a whole bunch of cars stacked in there. They all sometimes look the same. So there's a certain level of, you kind of got to keep your wits about you and which direction you're going in. And
yeah, it's like a jungle. Sometimes it makes you wonder how you keep from going under.
And can I ask you? Well, let's start with you, Jasper, since you've seen it. Could you do a knowledge roll?
And that's standard pass.
Okay. Just, are you going to just walk in off the street and just start wandering around the trail yard, or do you want to
I'm going to sort of make my way through handing out the flyers.
Well, what I mean is the workers there are probably very much against hobos being.
Oh, right. No, I think
you're just strangers walking in. They
I was kind of thinking that we'd keep an eye out for where the hobos were, if we could see anyone coming and going, and like that, like the ghost just came.
If your camera was just a little bit higher, that would have been really spooky.
Or if my dog was shorter.
Yeah.
But
or if I was like that,
if I was in the way, it would work. I think, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to be sort of in the bushes near the freight train line somewhere.
Right. So I guess what I'm asking is, are you going in with permission from Or are you just like?
Well, we could try that first, couldn't we? We could just go up to one of the bulls, and I know all the Argo.
I'm a little confused. Are we going to a hobo city, or are we going to a place where people are working on the trains?
This is an actual working trail yard. Yes.
So it's a train yard. It's not a hobo land.
It's a train yard, and when hobos camp by the rail yard, they call it a jungle.
Okay, but we're going there to talk to the hobos, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading
magazines about this for months and months, and I know I know some of their chalk signs as well. Oh yeah.
So I think
they call the railway workers, they call them bulls.
Bulls. B-U-L-L.
Like in that song, Big Rock Candy Mountain.
Where the Wang Noodles sing and
and all the dogs have rubber teeth.
yeah, I think it makes sense maybe approaching one of the guards, or I mean maybe weren't anticipating maybe so many people to be on duty, so we maybe go up and say do we want to make out that we're trying to encourage the homeless folks to go to the mission out of their way?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
trying to get them to go up and stay at the mission instead.
Stay out of danger and away from the carriages and all that, because obviously they sleep under them or in them and things. So.
Okay, that's very reasonable.
Good.
I'll just say then there's a office building at the front. You guys stop in, give them a spiel. We don't need to overdo that. So yeah, they just say, don't take too long. Be careful out there. Watch your step. And just check in when you're leaving, so we know that if you go missing, we're not out there looking for you.
all right.
Yeah, thanks very much. Say, did you hear about these horrible murders, guys?
Oh yeah, it's all over town.
Were these people around here, the guys that disappeared or got killed? Did they come around here?
I think the one guy I remember seeing, I didn't know him, but I remember seeing him. They passed around a flyer, like a sketch artist, I think. But I wasn't able to share that much information with him.
Yeah, scary times.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll try and encourage these guys to come up to the mission and stay out your way.
Okay. Yeah, if you can get them out of here, that would be appreciated. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. It's taken a bit of time to navigate this area. And like you said, they're sort of trying to stay hidden from the bulls. So let's put it to a group luck roll.
Cool. I passed. I got a hard.
Okay.
I got 15 out of 60.
I need Danny and Jasper to pass. One of you more.
Passed.
Okay.
Oh, I've also passed with a 28.
Nice. So after about maybe a half an hour, which is, after spending 2 hours at the priest's, half an hour seems like it took no time at all. You're walking about and you happen to catch some sounds coming from one of the rail cars. The door's been mostly closed. It's open about maybe a couple inches. So what are you going to do?
Does it sound like there's people inside just chatting?
Could be. It wasn't even voices. It was just a noise.
Oh.
Should we
Trying to throw a grenade in.
Well, that's what you have it for, isn't it?
Is there anyone looking? I was going to suggest we knock. I mean, obviously, like throwing a grenade in is a variation on that theme.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just wondering whether we could possibly de-escalate the volume and the level of violence of that knock.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Grenade to like knuckle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for the moment.
Yeah, just, hey guys.
I mean, as a precautionary measure, please, by all means, do bear in mind we may need the grenade at some point.
Yeah, I'll put it away.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, Jasper's knocking on the door. And, hey guys, we're here to help.
Knocks on it with the grenade, couldn't you? As long as the pin was still in.
The key to the pin.
Just to be clear, I think you're just joking, but you guys do not have grenades at this point.
All right.
You knock on the door. You
Could I
hear
knock on the door with an obsidian spear?
Well, they wouldn't let you have one, remember?
No, I know. Right, carry on, GM, sorry.
you hear a gruff sort of grunt rumble. It's not even it doesn't sound welcoming is what I'm trying to.
Free food.
What's that?
I'll put the mission.
You
Free,
hear
free food, warm beds,
Wave a flyer in the space in the door.
Thursday night crap game.
the door swings open, slides open, and there's a rather large, hulking man standing above you, looking down at the four of you.
Wow.
Hello, would you like to come to the mission?
Yes, very much so. I think he's big guy. He's dirty. He's filthy. It looks like this is the kind of guy you do not want to run into in a rail yard, right? So, what's this about? Free food?
There's free food and warm beds up at the mission.
The mission,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, you have to sit and listen to the preacher, but if you sit at the back, you can fall asleep and no one will notice.
Tell me about it. I sat through 2.5 hours today. My backside was killing me. I try and put on the charm a wee bit, like empathise with him. I had a hard time up there. But we did say we'd let people know that there's, a place to stay and food.
I'm going to ask you to do either a charm, a fast talk, or a persuade.
I'm going to do a charm.
You could
all of us.
Let Danny do it first, and then we'll see if you guys need to come in as backup.
75. I've been wanting to do a charm all episode. Anyway, failed.
My charm.
I'm going to try and do fast.
I'm sorry, man.
Charm.
I'm gonna do some fast talk. Hey, you might want to come down. You might want to sit there and sit through the whole preacher thing. But if you don't want to do that, you can sit outside. And there's always some fellas on the stoop there playing a bit of dice. You know what I mean? Playing some craps. You might be able to win a couple of bucks. Oh, you think that might be your kind of thing, do you? Oh.
Yeah, that's an extra
5%. No, he's not buying that at all.
I think with that build-up, you definitely earned a bonus die, though, I think.
Okay. 79, he's still not buying it at all.
You
So
come
tell
over
me.
and superficial and,
Like, so tell me, big guy, you work out? You think you
Arm
can beat me in an
wrestling.
arm wrestling contest?
I'm wrestling for information.
Hey, mister, you want to pet my dog
And I
for
look
$1?
I look over I look over at Jerry and I'm like, spell on me right now. Arm wrestling. No, I guess I don't want to fall asleep.
Are you serious?
No, I guess not.
Okay.
But I got an 89, so.
Ooh, okay.
Well, if he turns nasty,
He's intimidating.
I've
Oh,
got-
I should have tried intimidation. That's way higher.
Normally, Danny's really charming, but I think he got scared with the size of this guy.
So I don't know if I would let all three of you push your luck. But if you want to push your roll, I'll say that's an option. But I'll say if you fail, the risk is he's going to lose his temper.
I'm not, because I've already failed with a
I
bonus.
think he was going to lose his temper anyway, but it's by the size of it with our dice rolls. You want to give him an arm wrestling competition, Tug, or shall I try and charm him?
Well, I was going to say, I'm trying to think of a way I could intimidate him. Say, look, I'm going to try to intimidate him. Say, look, there are people being murdered out here, and I know you're a big guy, but somebody can sneak up behind you and stick a knife in your back and do it in the middle of the night when you're sound asleep, and all those muscles ain't going to count for nothing. I got where's intimidate? I got a 62 out of 65.
Oof. Okay.
Wait
It's a pass.
a
It's a pass. It's barely. It's a pushed roll, so it kind of makes sense. He's right on the edge of being done with you all, but.
And I give him a smile so he knows that I'm not being mean.
Yeah, it's an intimidation.
Well, my intimidation is to
saying-
scare him into compliance,
Mm.
which I did by telling him that there's a murderer running around. Unless he's the murderer, in which case...
Unless, too, maybe he's thinking Tug's the murderer now, too.
I'm way too cute to be a murderer. I don't kill people. I've never killed a person in my entire life.
All right. You barely passed. You have his attention, but you're losing it. He's got some sort of gin bottle in his hand, and he takes another swig of that. He's like, "So what do you want? What do you?" He says, "I'm not going to that priest's house."
Let's just be honest with him.
Yeah, my no good weasel of a friend Nathan, he was there for a few weeks. He got to live in that no good priest's house.
Nathan Roche?
What's that?
Nathan Roche?
I don't know if you ever told me his last name, but it was Nathan.
Was he the guy that got his head chopped off?
Probably could be.
You said that he lived with the preacher.
He stayed at his house for a while.
Like, not the church, but the house.
I look at the other ones and I say, preacher said that he didn't even know who Roche was.
Did you know this guy well?
Which one, Nathan or the priest?
Nathan.
I mean, we hung out. We drank together. I mean, he listened to my stories. That's all I can really ask of somebody.
You got stories. We've heard a lot of weird stories lately. What sort of weird stories have you heard lately?
I'm going to say you got his attention, and I'm just going to say he starts to, well, back in my day, traveling these rails, I've seen some strange, and he starts going on, and it's almost like you get that sense that if you let him go, he could probably preach for about 2 hours on some of his stories.
But if we get him drunker, we could be a little more direct in the questions that we ask him. And if he likes us, he might spill the beans on things.
And I've got an idea. Maybe I'll whisper to you guys as we're chatting. We could have him as muscle backup. You know, we'll give him a little gin, get him a little gin, and maybe offer to buy him. You know, the cafe we passed earlier on. We could buy him some food and get him on our side.
Give him some gin, wind him up, and let him go.
Well, it might be way more interesting than what the preacher was talking about. Something's just got really fishy.
Yeah, that's very suspicious, isn't
it? Does he, I mean, obviously he's a storyteller, but does he tell us anything of interest in terms of any strangeness, or is it just like local story after story, and then after about 3 stories you realize this is,
Yeah, half of it's probably made up. It's all stories about how his buddy left. He lost his hand with a train accident, and I'll say this too. You can all do this psychology roll? I just need one of you to pass. Really, it's not
11. Well, that doesn't pass for me.
No.
No,
Jasper.
fail as well.
Oh wait, it did. I got 15 in psychology.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So 11
So
does pass.
I'll just maybe Danny and Jasper are sort of listening, but Tug, you're starting to be aware of the fact that the more he drinks his gin, the angrier he's starting to get. He's an angry.
Yeah, he's an angry.
Yeah, let's go.
So he's, each story he tells brings up the anger of his past friends and trials and tribulations, and it's.
But he knew a Nathan.
That stayed with the
Nathan.
Now, you definitely asked the preacher that if he knew them, and he didn't know. He said he didn't really know them, right?
Right, but he seemed to recognize Anthony Corbett,
The other guy.
the guy who worked in town. But he didn't know this. He said that he didn't know the other guy.
So I think it's fair to say we're making a sharp exit, right? Away from here. We don't want to get to hang about this guy.
But now maybe the preacher didn't want to be associated with the guy that was murdered. But
he stayed at his house, he said.
Yeah, that's.
I thought he meant the church at first, but that's.
So just to be clear, the building you were in, that was both the youth mission center and that was his house.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Right. I thought it was different.
Like he's taking his people home with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. What do we do next?
I don't know. This is crazy. We were walking around town. We're not really finding out much, are we? Is there a connection between who the victims are and who and the kind of down on your luck? Because why? Because they wouldn't be missed?
Yeah, I mean,
they would obviously when they were missed.
The easiest target.
They're the easiest target. What did these two men have in common? Did they gamble? Did they?
I'm wondering, is it worth going to check the mill? Because one of them used to work at the mill.
Is there a bar in town?
I don't know what the prohibition was back then for Canada.
Well, we could go to the hardware cafe and see if we can get any gossip, or we could visit the mill to find out.
Well, we'd find out maybe more about Corbett.
Yeah. Not the other guy, maybe.
If Roach didn't work in the mill, then the mills might not be a connection. But somebody in this town has either murdered 2 people or involved the Lobsterinos.
Is that the Spanish one? The Italian one?
Yeah. That's my new name for them. So the Migos.
Migos or me guy?
Well, I don't know. It's not
Me guy, because they're like fungi.
That's what I was.
the Migo himself, though, called himself Amigo, so it's not Latin or Greek.
Oh, so it might be like sheep. It's the plural of itself.
She found him in the Himalayas, though. Maybe it's an Asian language.
So
I think I'm getting hungry. Why don't we stop at the cafe and talk to some of the locals, and then we can work out what we do from there.
That's a good idea. Here, let's hand out some more of these flyers on the way.
Yeah. I thought when we met that big guy, he was a murderer.
He might be. I mean, he's a transient.
Oh hell, he's just some fellow who's had a hard life, and
yeah,
he just wants to be left alone. I think.
I'm trying to think of what we need to be finding out. We're investigating the murder of two people who had the tops of their heads removed, and we think that the Miko are involved. So our primary questions are: A, did you know the people who were murdered? And then see if we can find some common thread between them. They both went to the same bar. They both stayed in the same hotel, and then start investigating that spot. At this point, the most we've got is that preacher, except that he just seems so bland.
Yeah, I agree. And yet, why would he lie to us and not tell us about that guy?
I mean, yeah, if he was trying to cover it up, he would be outraged that these poor people were killed. And that's at least the way I would think that he would act.
Let's go to the cafe.
All right.
Okay, I could do with a strong cup of coffee after that. That guy fair put the wind up me.
just being that close to his gin breath, probably you've got a little bit of a hangover. All right,
yeah, he's certainly strong.
It's 1921. How many of us brush our teeth yet?
I do. I brush my teeth with finest carbolic.
I just take Aunt Granny's little liver pills. All right.
Yeah, so I'll just say this. So you guys make your way back to the cafe. Some of the discussion you just had, we'll say you had that in the cafe.
Okay.
So basically, I mean, without going into it all, we're kind of trying to charm the locals and, you know, maybe do the more informed, not that we are working for the police or anything like that, but we're new in town, but we're a bit nervous, and see if they can give us any information, ask about the two names.
Yep. Okay. Let's say this. I'll say it's about maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. You're able to get a light dinner here at the cafe. You tend to, you know, anybody who comes in, you give them a quick little, hey, did you hear about such and such? But it's all, you're pretty much getting the same information. There's not a whole lot of new information that's being.
Okay.
All right. So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think I did. The cafe is only about a block away from the mission.
Okay.
Okay. You're sitting there, and Danny, you look up and you see the priest and one of the other guys leaving the building together.
Leaving the church?
The church, yep.
Like one of the kind of down and out guys, or just, yeah, one of the...
Yep.
I mention it to the guys and say, look, you know how that guy said that the other guy, look, there's one of the guys that's hanging out.
Are they walking towards our position or away from our position?
Away. They're headed north. And judging from that little map that the detective showed you, you know that it's only about maybe 3 or 4 more blocks, and then pretty much the town ends. Like there's nothing else up there.
Yeah, that's like the trail. Let's follow these guys. And
Quick, pay the bill. Let's see if we can walk as if we're just walking around town.
Yeah, I'd say, look, don't worry. I've got Rex with me. We're just out walking the dog. It's the perfect cover.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So we try and keep pace with them.
Check over here. Come on, move it, waitress.
Next time, have more information here. You're not getting much of a tip.
You Americans are always so impatient.
I think that only works in Japan.
I'm going to ask you to do a stealth roll because you're just trying to be sneaky. I'm just looking for you not to get a crit fail. That's all. I mean, there's no reason for you. Uh-oh.
I got an 87. That's not a crit.
Okay.
Oh, I got an 8.
I actually got a pass. I got 16.
Nice.
I have blended into the shadows.
You guys are, Danny and Jasper are kind of like moving stealthily, and I imagine Tug's just kind of like walking down the middle of the street.
Cartwheeling down the middle of the road. Look at me!
You know what? Actually, that comes back. Has that ever worn off?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How long did it take to wear off?
That's a good question.
Hold on a minute. Have you been cartwheeling the whole time?
Well, did it wear off when I woke back up? Had it...
that would be brilliant if, you know, we
That'd be a fantastic side effect. You can now only move by cartwheeling.
I'm trying to think. How would you know if it wore off or not?
Well, I had an episode where I became very tired, right? Afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then when I woke back up, was I still strong or?
Excuse me. I'll just say this. It was because of, like, you had just been taken down to the police station. You had been approached by like, a lot of stuff was happening. So I'm just going to say you were aware that it wore off that day, but specifically when
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So Danny and Jasper, you kind of yell at Tug, like, get out of the middle of the street.
Yeah, but we yell quietly.
Right. The priest and the gentleman are walking. They're just walking down the sidewalk, and they're still headed north. But eventually they get to, like I said, it's only about 3 or 4 blocks. And you're now on the northern edge of town. And you see them, the priest reaches into his pocket and looks like he's like fumbling for a key. And he approaches one of the houses. And he starts walking up the little walkway to the house. It's a little bit run down, like tall grass in the area, like not well maintained outside. But the house, it's reasonable. It's not. It's just it needs work. And it looks like they're heading to go into that house.
Could it just be another halfway house or something? Maybe.
It could be.
Well, let's keep heading in that direction. If he comes back out and starts heading towards us, we'll just be walking down the street.
I'm kind of enjoying this because I've not done this since I was a little kid, you know, when I used to follow people up the road.
So you see them enter the house. You see a light come on, although most of the windows are like have curtains and stuff.
I forgot to ask too. In the process of this, we must have walked past the mission.
Yes. Yeah.
Is the mission closed or is it just?
It's the same. Like the guys are still sitting out front, coming and going. Yeah.
There's no preaching going on right now.
Right.
All right. So what do? Do we approach the house and see if we
Yeah, I think we should kind of sneak around and peek in the, you know, if there's shutters, try and peek through around the back and.
All right.
Kind of, why not, you know?
Okay. I'm going to ask you for some more specifics. So Tug, what are you doing specifically?
Well, I am.
I'll say it's like early evening, like maybe 6 o'clock-ish. So it's still twilight. It's still light, but it's starting to set behind the mountains and the trees, so it's getting a little bit dark.
Well, let's say who has the darkest clothes. If I don't, then I might hang out across the street and just sort of loiter and let whoever is more stealthy than I am, because I'm kind of big and muscly. I'm not very good at stealthy.
Okay.
I'll sit there and not smoke a cigarette.
Okay.
I'm not that great at sneaking about. Are you a sneaky person, Jasper?
My stealth is.
He snuck his way into
20.
our hearts.
Oh, shucks. My stealth is only 20, but
How about George? How about Jerry?
Jerry?
He sent me a sheet, but I didn't download it.
Well, I've got 34, so it's better than 20.
Yeah, mine's only 22.
yeah, I could just walk up and down with the dog because then I'm just some kid walking a dog.
Yeah.
I think it might be a good idea for maybe if I'm trying to sneak round the back, because I've just thought maybe they're just coming round here for dinner. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. But if they suddenly see you and they come running out with shotguns and stuff, I'll go tackle them. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to move closer, Tug? You're across the street?
Yeah, well, the street's probably 15 feet across.
Yeah, you could stand on this side in case I need your help, and I'll give you a wave.
Okay. I'll stand closer. I'll be 5 feet away. I'll be on
Just not out the front door, just off to the side.
All right.
And Jasper, you're pretty much hanging out with Tug on the front?
Yeah, I'm just lingering around with the dog, letting the dog have a sniff of a lamppost or something.
Sure. Okay.
Smoking a cigarette, possibly.
So Danny's like signaling to Tug.
What's he saying around the world? What?
No
Where-
cartwheel.
Where are you headed, Danny?
So it's just a little single story, is that right?
Yes. Yep.
So I'm just kind of going round the side without trespassing immediately, maybe on the border of whatever the two properties are, if there's one next to it, and kind of going round, skirting round and checking in the back door or the back window, see if there's a light on at the back, or is the light only from the front?
It's mostly in the front from what you can see right now, unless you tell me you're going around the back.
I'll go around the back just now first to see, maybe they're just making dinner or something.
Mhm.
And if I can't see anything, I'll go around the front and peek through the slats or the curtains or whatever.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So go ahead and do a stealth roll. I'm going to go easy on you. I'm just looking for anything.
I'll just use my luck if I need to.
96 or less. Just don't get a crit fail.
70, so not very good.
Not good, but yeah, it's fine. You're still outside. Now, could I ask you to do, I'll let you choose either one, either spot hidden or
Yep.
a luck roll.
Or luck, did you say?
Yeah, either one.
I'll just do spot hidden, it's better. Yeah, that's a hard success.
Okay. So you're just about ready to turn around the back of the house when you see there's a side window there, and it looks like there's a little gap in the curtain area that you could probably peek in. It's a little bit higher than what you would want, though. So you're either going to have to, I don't know, either pull yourself up or find something to stand on, or how do you want to do that?
If I got Tug over to help me, would I need to would he need to do a sneaky roll?
He would. I would just go with the same. He just would have to do anything but a crit fail. 96 or less.
All right, I got 85, but
You're pushing it.
I stumble when I get over there and I go, yeah. And I just sort of hunker down so that you can sort of climb up on me.
Ideal.
Well, I'm going to go and hang around in the bushes now. Because I don't want to be out there on my own. That looks a bit too suspicious.
Like moving further into the property, you mean? Like,
yeah, just into the shade of the trees, so that I'm somewhere that's not readily visible.
okay, yep.
I'm not hiding enough to be suspicious, but I mean, if a cop came past, I'd just look like someone whose dog was sniffing around in the bushes, who was waiting for their dog to go to the toilet or something.
Okay. Still within eye shot of Danny and Tug, though, right?
Yeah.
All right, Danny. So you managed to get on Tug's back. You pull yourself up, a little bit shaky, but you're holding onto the windowsill. You're looking through this crack in the window, and you see that there's a light that's been turned on in the main living room, and there's also a light that's been turned on in the back, what you would assume is the kitchen. You're seeing lots of boxes of stuff. Like, I mean, obviously you don't know what's in the boxes, but it looks like there's a lot of boxes scattered around, placed up on the edges of the room. And in the middle of the living room is a like a bureau, like a large bureau with drawers and stuff like that. And it's laying down flat, and it looks like there's a toolbox sitting out next to it. You see one of the homeless guys. You probably saw him sitting while you were in being preached at. You probably recognized him as being in that meeting. You didn't really talk to anybody to get their name, so you recognize him, but you don't know his name. And he's just basically just starting to get situated, and he's taking out some of his tools.
Like, is it saws and tools like that? Is it?
Yeah, basic, screwdrivers, wrenches.
He's going to repair the bureau.
And what's the sense of these boxes? Is it like crates or storage boxes or something like that? Is it?
Yeah, like they could all be carried, probably.
So what's this guy doing with the tools? Is he in this room? Is he actually in that room, or is he kind of going by? Yeah.
Yep.
And so what's he doing now? As I'm watching maybe for a couple of minutes, what's he doing? He's getting the tools out.
Yep.
Is he fixing something in the room?
Yeah, maybe he's looking at the bureau and getting some of the tools out. Can you do a listen roll?
Yeah, hard success.
Okay. You hear the Father Dubois you can't see him, he's in the kitchen. You hear him from the kitchen, and he yells out, hey, Joe, do you want a glass of lemonade? And Joe's like, yeah, sure, that would be great.
I kind of whisper down to Tug, I think this is lame. This guy's just repairing something, and they're having lemonade.
Wait until you see whether the guy drinks the lemonade and then passes out and the preacher chops his head off.
Are you crazy?
No, that's what we're here for.
The preacher comes out. Joe is kind of like, he's got a screwdriver and he's focused on the bureau, and he's trying to put the bureau together, fix it. And you notice that the preacher's come walking out, and he's got something in his hand, but it doesn't look like a glass of lemonade.
Is it like a weapon or something?
If you do a spot hidden successfully, maybe you can get a better view.
Ah, damn, I failed that one.
Luck or push?
Yeah, push it.
I shake him.
Might hear you.
I passed.
Ooh, okay. It looks like it's just a rag.
A rag?
Yeah.
A rag. Yeah.
Fuck.
He's gonna be like, here, smell this. Does it smell like chloroform?
I'm looking for Jasper, and I'm like, I don't know if you can see me from there.
Yeah, I've been watching you. Yeah, I'm specifically sitting there watching you. Okay.
I take my pistol out just in case he's going to do something really
Oh, wait, no.
Nasty.
We don't want to give it away.
And in that amount of time, the priest slips up behind Joe and takes the rag and, like you said, just puts it right over his face and starts. Joe's struggling, and he like got him a surprise from behind, and he's got a good hold on him, and in a matter of only about maybe 30 seconds or so, Joe goes limp.
I'm just whispering to Tug, let me down.
Okay. So I let you down.
It's him. It's just, and Jasper's, are you coming over, Jasper? Did you see us?
Oh yes, yeah, I'm on my way.
If we stop the preacher now,
We'll save a life.
yeah, we might save one guy's life. But if we follow him and find out who he's working for, then we might save a whole bunch of lives.
I wonder if he's one of them,
Well, we should keep watching. Here, none of you can pick me up. Of course, I can.
You could, although I might do a little harder stealth roll for you then.
It might make noise.
Okay, maybe because we don't know what's happening, I climb back up on Tug just lift me up.
Don't hit the wall.
And just to see what he's doing with the guy. Obviously, he's knocked him out, but
I'm going to ask you for another stealth, and just don't get a crit fail.
81.
Oof, you guys are pushing it right to the limit. Yeah, you look in, and he's already moved Joe's body. It looks like he's dragging him along the floor. There's a set of stairs that you can see, and it looks like they're headed towards the stairs.
They're going down
Going down.
The stairs go up.
Oh, up.
To the second floor.
Okay, we can't just stand here.
Let's go in.
Go inside.
Yeah. Try the back door, and if that's locked, which it could be, then try the front door or the window even.
You're right at the window. You try the window. It's locked. The back door is probably closer because you're back by the back window on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So you quickly make your way to the back door. It's locked.
Front door?
Front door. You make your way back around the front. It's locked.
And you guys randomly good at picking locks?
I'm randomly good at slamming through the door.
Well, I have a
Tell me
skill
to go
of
on,
one lock picking, which means that really one time in 100, I should be able to do it.
Me too.
Thinking about it optimistically. But I'm also quite small, so I could probably climb through a window.
They're all locked. Otherwise, I'm going to have to smash through the door.
I'll let you guys talk about it, but I'm let y'all know too the time's ticking.
I think we just need to get in there. I've got my gun with me anyway. Don't know if you guys have.
So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna ram against the door as hard as I can.
Front door or back door?
Front door. I guess that's where we're at this point.
Okay. Can you remind me, Tug, are you armed? You took a pistol?
I do have a pistol. Yeah.
And Jasper, did you take a pistol? It
No,
was offered to you, but I don't remember.
I did not take a pistol. No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think I made quite a
And as far as a strength roll goes, I got a 7 out of 80.
I believe I do. I did say I believe that I now have a proper kosh.
Okay, that's fair enough. Maybe not as comedic as the sock with quarters, but
more durable.
Yeah. So the door pops open to you rather easily.
And I immediately head straight towards the stairs.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Going up.
Simple house layout. I mean, really, it's like one main room in the first floor, kitchen in the back, like I said, and stairs leading up.
And I'm pulling out my gun as I'm running.
Okay. Danny?
Yeah, I'm right behind him.
Right behind him, and Jasper.
Yeah, I'm following behind them. I've got my kosh in my right hand and a very big dog in my left.
Okay.
Well, not in my hand. I mean,
In your hand, you're
the
holding him.
leash. I've
Yep.
got the leash of a very big dog in my left hand.
Okay. Tug, you come up the top of the steps, and just as you come up to the top of the steps, you see the priest kind of poke his head out of the bedroom door, and he's looking out the room like he just heard you probably open the
Right.
and he's like just looking out. So for that split second, you're looking directly right at him.
And I head right at him. Okay. Freeze! 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 Because I got my gun out.
Okay. He yells. I mean, you clearly have caught him off guard and by surprise. He yells, "What is the meaning of this? What?" And he raises his hand. "What's going on? What are you doing?"
What are you doing with that poor guy that you just chloroformed?
What are you talking about? And he's out in the hallway now. He's come out of the bedroom and he's in the hallway. So he's like kind of like facing you.
I'm kind of backing Tug up and I shout, we know you knew that you had, what was that guy's name? The other one?
Roche. Nathan Roche.
We know you had Nathan at your place.
Well, I want to see what he's doing with this guy. I'm like, back up now. Back up into the room.
There is another door behind him that you can only assume is a second bedroom.
Right. I'm going to...
So he's backing away, like you said. The door is just to your left. It's open.
And he's left this guy on the ground?
So you're going to have to look in that room to
okay. All right. So as I'm keeping the gun trained on him, and I look into the bedroom.
Yeah, you see there's a wooden table sitting right in the middle of the bedroom, and Joe is kind of just laid out on his back on the table.
You sick fuck.
But in the time that you looked in the room, you were distracted.
Yeah, but Danny's
quickly,
looking at it.
Yeah, he quickly makes a move for the second bedroom. Danny?
I shoot up to the ceiling.
Okay. Jasper?
I will release the dog.
Ooh.
Get him, boy.
Release the hounds.
And I will be absolutely terrified by the gunshot going off right behind my back.
Yes. All right.
And dive for the ground. Dive for the bedroom where the guy is.
You might need to make a willpower to not shoot your gun off yourself.
Yeah, maybe. 'Cause I'm terrified at this moment. I got a willpower of 45 and I rolled a 70.
So we'll just say you flinched at the gunshot. So as soon as his gunshot went off, bang, your gunshot went off too.
I wasn't really aiming, so.
Yeah, that's fine. You just knock a hole in the wall.
But I dive into the room. Holy fuck.
Does the priest...
Yep, so Tug just dove into the room to your left, and the priest just entered the room to the left, but beyond in the second bedroom.
Has he left the door open, or has he shut the door behind him?
It looks like he tried to shut it, but he didn't get a good, it just swung a little bit, didn't close.
I just shout, if you don't come out, I'll blow a hole through your head, you freak.
Okay. No response.
Jasper, go get the police.
I just head for the door and kick in. I'm just like, come on, Jasper.
Jasper, you said you released Rex.
Oh, so you did, yeah, the dog.
Yes. I told him to attack.
Yeah, he'll get in.
Me.
He'll get in before me.
That's what I was thinking. Did you bother to do any sort of like? Do you have an attack roll for him, or do you have any stats?
Yes, and if you'll remember, we did some. I did some training with him as well back at the HQ. So his bite roll is now 56%.
Nice. Okay, go ahead and roll.
That's a good way to take him down.
6.
Yay!
He's like an Exocet missile. Bam!
With fur.
He's like one of those Malinois that you see in those display team things where it just flies through the air and attaches to someone's shoulder and pulls them down.
You
And then he explodes.
So Rex takes off, runs into the bedroom, and for a moment you can't see what's happening. You hear Father Dubois yell out in pain, and he starts yelling. Danny, since you're in front of Jasper, what do you want to do?
I'm just chasing behind the dog.
Behind the dog?
Yeah, and kicking that door open.
Okay.
And I'm looking around the room.
The room that you're in? Okay.
Where Joe is on the table. See if I can figure out what was about to happen. Because I don't have that kind of an imagination.
So it's there's no decorations in the room at all. The windows are completely open. I'll say he brought a lantern up with him, so no electricity, but there's a lantern that was set on a little table next to him. And it's kind of a gruesome, the table has got a very thick, heavily scarred, stained reddish brown color to it.
Oh.
There is a small, I guess for lack of a better word, it's a workbench. There's tools and stuff, one of which is a bloodstained saw.
Holy fuck.
There's also, at the end of the table where his head is, on the floor, there's a bucket that's also discolored and reddish brown stains. I'm going to ask you for sanity roll.
Yeah, I just rolled. I failed.
1d3.
1.
So you hear Father yell. Rex has, Danny, you're running in and seeing this. Rex has grabbed a hold of his ankle. So he's got him. The priest was on his all fours, like going underneath the bed, it looks like, to grab something.
Cool.
So as you enter the door, he's yelling and screaming. The dog's growling and biting and pulling on his leg. His legs, knocking him off balance. But you see he's got his hand on a shotgun.
I don't really want to kill him, So I aim to shoot at the shotgun or where his hand is. But I'm shouting on Jasper, get in here, because I want him to clock him with the kosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right behind him, believe me.
Yeah, I mean, really, we want to give this guy to the police. I don't want to kill him. I've blasted enough of this guy's. I don't even think this guy's an alien. I think he's just a nut job.
Yeah.
Are you hesitating, Danny, or are you shooting?
I'm shooting, but I really don't want to hit him. So I'm really aiming for the floor near the shotgun. If I hit his hand, I hit his hand. But
Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask you to roll.
I think it's only way you can stop him in his tracks and not.
If you crit fail, you're gonna hit him.
Yeah. A regular pass.
Okay.
So if I can, ideally, I would actually hit the shotgun, or right next to the shotgun, really to stop him getting it.
Okay. All right.
So,
How about this? in all the chaos, the dog and him yelling and you realizing it's all happening very quickly. So I'm going to say you aim to shoot the shotgun, but you missed the shotgun. You didn't have enough time to aim that precisely, but you hit the floorboard like right next to his hand.
Yeah.
Right? So he clearly got the message that that's what you're saying. So in that split second, then I'll say, Jasper, you have an opportunity to do something. And then Tug, you can think about what you're about to do.
I'm going to clock him one.
Okay.
On the nut.
Yeah, I'm just get him, Jasper, get him.
With the kosh, I'm just going to go bam.
Yeah.
Smack him on the forehead with the kosh.
Are you calling Rex off first, or are you?
Not yet.
No, let him have his fun.
I'm going to smack him on the head, and then I'll remove Rex. And that's a 34 out of 50, which is just a regular success.
What's the damage on that thing?
I think they're 1d8, aren't they?
1d8, yeah.
That's nasty.
It is.
Oh, fuck.
He's dead.
I've just done 8 points of damage.
Wow.
Which was the one and only time I didn't want to roll maximum damage with a weapon.
Can you not get a smaller kosh?
8 points.
Could it be a safety kosh?
Could just knock him completely out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a constitution roll here.
I think I've probably just fractured his skull.
That's what I'm going to say. And your
Which
excitement.
is ironic considering what he was about to do to someone else.
So, yeah, I'm going to say you did that. Maybe, your adrenaline got ramped up and you knocked him square in the head, right on the side of the head, which is the weaker spot. He is clearly dazed and out of it for a split second. You did a huge amount of damage with that hit. Tug, anything?
You said the windows were open?
Not open. I just meant there were no curtains or anything.
Okay. Can I open a window?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to open up the window and I'm going to yell as loud as I can. Police! Police!
Okay.
Try to get people's attention.
All right.
Good idea.
Okay. No reaction at the moment, but that's, maybe it'll take a moment or something. Maybe
I'm loud. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I'm kind of getting ready to take Rex off, but I'm also sort of waiting for Danny to get the shotgun away from him first.
Yeah, okay. I do that. I think is he actually unconscious, or is he just like...
He's still conscious. He's just been whacked upside the head to the point where he saw stars. So.
All right, well, I probably kick the shotgun across to the corner of the room.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because he's obviously messed up enough not to, jump up and grab the shotgun.
Yep.
Find the rag.
Yeah, it's a good idea, actually.
It's a very good idea.
He probably either has it on him or it's in the room.
Yeah.
After
I yell for a bit, I grab the rag's probably in where Joe is. And I grab it and I run around the room to see what's going on. And I throw the rag at whoever's on top of the preacher at this point.
Well, so in my mind, Danny just kicked the shotgun away. Jasper, you are within arm's reach because you just clocked him in the head, so I think you're probably closest.
Does Tug not take a sniff to see what it smells like? And then lands on top of the priest and kills him outright.
He only had one hit point left.
No, we need to bring him to justice.
Jasper, do you take the rag?
No, I'm engaged in the business of getting Rex off.
Okay. How do you do that?
I'm grabbing his collar and pulling him back. As I'm pulling him back, I'm twisting the collar very slightly and just saying, off! Like that. Or possibly I might be saying, os! Os!
Did you go to the trouble of giving Rex a POW stat?
I did.
I'm trying to think. I'm wondering what level of training you've established with Rex. Like, is he going to obey you on the first try, or is there a certain amount of, this is what he was trained for, this is what he's doing, and he's just not listening to you?
It's Jasper's POW versus the dog's POW.
Well, I would have said that if he fails his willpower roll, then he would let go. That's the way I've always assumed it would be with dogs when they're trained. That if they want to do something of their own volition, that involves them passing the power roll, because then that's their willpower having succeeded.
Okay. I'm curious how that plays out, so I'm going to ask you to roll.
Okay. And he has failed his power roll. I rolled 55, and his power is 40. And so I would take that to mean that he has released.
Okay. So I just want to, maybe that little bit of the fact that he maybe hesitated sticks in your mind now, that you got to be careful with that maybe Rex either needs more training, or maybe he needs, I don't know what the answer is, but it's just registering in your mind. That's all. So yeah, so he releases. Tug, do you want to still then have the rag then, we'll say?
Well, I'll throw it, but I'm going to run back to the window and yell some more unless I see people coming.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just say you just drop it on the ground. There was a bed there, and that's where the shotgun was, under the bed. So you drop it, the rag on the bed. You run back into the other room, and you start yelling. You see there's a house across the street, down a little bit, and you see one of the lights come on. So maybe somebody has heard you at this point.
And if I see them, I yell, call the police, call the police.
Okay. I'm trying to think. There's no yell roll, so I'm trying to think, is there a skill for that? Shit.
Well, there's a luck. The luck involves
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
English or not. I got a 21, so I passed my luck.
Okay, good. All right. It looks like somebody looked out the window, maybe a little old lady, and she hears you. So there's like you make eye contact. Yeah.
I don't know what it is in French. Poulet. You want a chicken? No.
Danny, Jasper?
So I think I just pick up the rag off the bed when I realised Tug decided to run away again and shout, fair enough. Okay. So either if Jasper's free, I'll just toss him the rag because he's right on him, almost, or at him. If not, I'll just go over and stick it in his face.
Okay. So in a matter of maybe it's worn off a little bit, maybe it's evaporated a little bit, but in a fairly decent amount of time, he loses consciousness.
Tie him up.
Yeah. I'm kind of standing over him with a barking dog at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So things are kind of quiet now. Like all that action just happened in a split second and everything. So now he's down, he's unconscious, he's laying on the floor. Rex has stopped barking. Anybody want to do anything specific? The police are probably on their way.
I think once he's kind of out of it, if Tug's still through the room, I'm going through to find out what this is all about, because we thought there was maybe some kind of alien presence. Yeah, is there any sense of anything strange, or is it like a butcher shop?
Yeah, it's kind of, you get the sense that, I think I was clear, but the reddish, they were blood stains, obviously. So
right.
that room was his quote murder room, right?
Murder
That's
room.
where he
Mm.
removed the tops of their skulls.
Oh,
Is there a basement?
No, let's just say this. I'll say, could you do? No, I'm not even going to do a spot hidden. In the room that you're in now, so not the murder room, but the one that you knocked him unconscious in.
Mm.
Again, it's sparse. There's just a bed. There's no real, but there's a shelf or a desk that's got a bunch of books stacked up on it. In addition to that, on the desk, there's a. You're familiar with the term phrenology?
Yeah. It's a
There's
skull,
one of those.
bumps on it.
Yeah, there's one of those phrenology skulls, ceramic skulls, on the desktop there, and there's quite a few books, and they're all about prophecy. So there's some religious type books about prophecy and prophets. There's a whole bunch of books on palmistry and phrenology. So it's really like he's got this whole twisted trying to tell the future. He's trying to figure out the future.
Yeah.
So he's a crackpot.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You got it, Tug.
Psychopath.
There's a small notebook, and after just shuffling through a couple pages of that, that's pretty much you're getting that sensation or that impression. The other, he's got the word able. He says background. Background. Discharged from the Army. Now an alcoholic. Area 6 and 6A of brain. Combativeness. Normal. Area 13, parentheses, self-esteem is indented. And then underneath that it says Corbett. Background, mill worker, unemployed, heavy drinker. All areas appear normal. And then there's a third one that says Roche. Background, unknown, taciturn. Not sure if I said that right. Homeless man. Area 10 for secretiveness is large.
So he thinks that he styles himself some sort of forensic scientist, but he's insane.
Yes.
All right. So what happens when the police get there?
Yes.
Police guys that we know.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll just wrap this up. If there's anything specific you want to do, just let me know. But I'll just say that, the police arrive. There's a lot of confusion. You're trying to explain what all happened. But, you've been up front with them from the start, so there's a certain level of trust. At first they're like, what are you talking? Eventually it's all worked out. The police are very happy that you came, that you helped. There's a jean shirt in the closet with that little piece of scrap fabric that you found earlier. That was from the jean shirt, so they have now connected evidence that puts him at the scene of the murder. So, in a nutshell, the police thank you. You can each do 1d6 sanity points for restoration.
Aww.
I've got so much ink in my sanity area.
There's a couple more, actually. So you can do another d6 because you saved the victim. So the first d6 was because you captured Dubois alive. The second one was for saving the victim, Joe. And you get a third one. You can do a 1d4. And that's basically for discovering that the priest was insane, which thus proves that the Mugo were not involved.
Yeah, why was he? Well, okay, we know why he was cutting their heads off. He was playing around with this phrenology nonsense.
Still,
Of course, we don't know that it's nonsense.
opportunity to use my spell.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mick?
Still didn't get an opportunity to use my spell. I was getting ready with the big man at the railroad, just in case he
Oh.
turned nasty. I was going to
Ooh.
hoodoo him.
All right.
To be fair, you had an opportunity. You just didn't take
Yeah, I didn't.
it.
I thought, you know, it might exacerbate the situation.
Cool.
Well, your Kosh could have taken him out anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got 8 damage if I was fighting him, would I? I would have got a 1 if I was fighting him.
All right, Jeff. Is that where we're going to call it then?
Yeah, we can end it there.
All right. Our players included Mick Swan, Ken Trench, and myself, with Jeff Wilkins as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft on the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.